Hola amigos y amigas de YouTube. Hello YouTube friends. Soy Andrea y quiero ayudarles a aprender español. I'm Andrea and I want to help you learn Spanish. Today I want to talk to you about pronunciation. In addition to knowing how to pronounce the vowels a, e, I, o, u, and how to pronounce some of the consonants that are different from Spanish to English, it's also really important to know where to put the emphasis on a word. It's either going to be the last syllable, the second to last syllable, or the third to last syllable, depending on 3 simple rules. So I want to share my screen with you to give you a little presentation that explains exactly how to do this so that you will be understood. It's very important to stress the correct syllable in a word. So the first rule is that if a word ends in a vowel, a, e, I, o, u, or the letter N or the letter S, then you want to emphasize the second to last syllable. This is a very common occurrence. This is where most stress goes, on the second to last syllable, because a lot of words in Spanish end in either a vowel or the letter N or the letter S. Here's an example. I've underlined the syllable I'm emphasizing. Hermano, masa, cuidado, haces, burrito, importante, caminan, hablamos. So if you say hermano or hermano, nobody's going to know what you're talking about. It's hermano. It's really important to emphasize the correct syllable. Now, if a word ends in a consonant other than the letter N or the letter S, then the emphasis naturally falls on the last syllable. And here are some examples of that. Natural, ciudad, comer, vivir, andar, amistad, señal, amor. It's not natural or natural, it's natural. I'm hitting that last syllable harder than the rest. Any exceptions to those 2 rules require a written accent mark. So anytime you see an accent mark over a vowel, that's the sound that you want to emphasize. Up here, you do not want to say pájaro. You do not want to say pájaro. You want to say pájaro. You're emphasizing that first syllable, pájaro. Compréndelo. Durmiéndose. Árbol. Gómez. Sánchez. Típico. Teléfono. If you say teléfono, nobody's going to know what you're talking about. Okay, it's got to be teléfono. Teléfono. You're emphasizing exactly where the accent mark is. Repeat after me. Pájaro. Compréndelo. Durmiéndose. Árbol. Gómez. Sánchez. Típico. Teléfono. Good. Now, where are the syllables? You have to know where the syllables break apart in order to know how to emphasize the last, the second to the last, or the third to the last. So if 2 vowels are next to each other, they can either blend together or they can be separate, depending on whether they're a strong vowel or a weak vowel. If a vowel is between 2 consonants, it's always its own syllable. But if it's next to another vowel, you have to think about, is it A, E, O, which are strong vowels, or is it U and I, which are weak vowels? In this case, the E and the A are next to each other, but they're 2 separate sounds. They're 2 separate syllables because they're both strong vowels. So this is a 3-syllable word, Andrea. And we're emphasizing the second to last syllable because it ends in a vowel. Andrea. Same thing here. It ends in an S. We're going to emphasize the second to last syllable, and the E and the A are 2 separate sounds because they're both strong vowels. Cumpleaños. 4 syllables. Cumpleaños. You can count syllables by counting how many times your chin goes down. Cumpleaños. 4. Barbacoa. The O and the A do not blend together. They're not a diphthong. They're 2 separate sounds because they're both strong vowels. Barbacoa. I'm emphasizing the second to last. U and I, on the other hand, are weak vowels, and they will blend into the vowel next to them unless you make them strong with a written accent mark. So in this case, entiendes is only 3 syllables because the I and the E work together to make one sound called a diphthong. And I'm emphasizing that second to last syllable, entiendes. The A and the U work together to make one sound, Claudia. The I and the A are also making one sound because the U is weak and the I is weak. Claudia, Claudia, 2 syllables, and we emphasize the second to last. The U and the A in cuando work together. Cuando, one syllable there in the first part, 1 syllable at the end. We emphasize the second to last. Cuando. And Mario, the I and the O work together. Mario. So we're emphasizing the second to last syllable because it ends in a vowel. Repite, por favor. ¿Entiendes? Claudia. Cuando. Mario. All right. Now, if you want to make the U and I its own syllable, then you just write an accent mark over it and make it strong. So Maria, Maria, 3 syllables. We've made the I strong with an accent mark. Carniceria, that I has been separated from the A next to it with a written accent mark. It's been made strong. Raúl, in this case, the U is strong with an accent mark. It's not blending in with the A. Dia, we've emphasized the I. Maria, carniceria, Raúl, dia. So here are lots of examples of both cases where there are weak vowels and strong vowels. So we're going to go left to right here. In vigilancia, the I and the A form just one sound because I is a weak vowel and there's no written accent mark. So we're going to emphasize the second to last syllable in a word that ends in a vowel. And in this case, it's the A between the L and the N. Vigilancia, vigilancia. Same thing here with exigencia. The I and the A are making one sound at the end. We're emphasizing the second to last. Exigencia. Same thing with farmacia. The I and the A stay together. They're one sound. Farmacia, farmacia. Same thing with familia. The I and the A at the end is one sound. We're emphasizing the second to last. Familia. Secundaria. Same thing. Okay, so all these have an IA at the end that's one sound, that's a vowel sound, and we're emphasizing the second to last syllable. Repeat after me. Vigilancia, exigencia, farmacia, familia, secundaria. Versus the next 3, we've made the I strong with an accent mark. It's its own syllable. Lavanderia, panaderia, tortilleria. Okay, and then we have an O as the last syllable. Normally, when a word ends in an N, we'd emphasize the second to last syllable, but in this case, we want to emphasize the last syllable, which is an exception to the rule. So we're writing it in with an accent mark. Admiración, nación. Then we have configurar, which ends in a consonant other than N or S, so that's the last syllable, configurar. Quiero, the QU makes a K sound, the IE makes one sound, it's a diphthong, it's the second to last syllable, we're going to emphasize it because it ends in an O, which is a vowel. Quiero, quiero. Okay, descartar ends in an R, we're going to emphasize the last syllable, descartar. The Z, we're going to emphasize the last syllable, madurez. The D is a consonant other than N or S, we're going to emphasize the last syllable, dificultad. And down here, we're going to put it where the accent mark is written in. Fáciles, difíciles. Niñez, that's on the last syllable because it ends in a consonant other than N or S. Joven, it's written in. Puede, the U and the E make one sound, and it's the second to last syllable. Okay, so I hope this has helped. I hope that you have a better understanding now for how to divide a word into syllables and where to put the emphasis. Because again, you want to be understood when you're speaking. And anytime you see a word, you're going to know how to pronounce it as long as you know how to pronounce the vowel sounds, as long as you know how to pronounce those consonants that are different from English, and as long as you know where to put the emphasis. So please keep studying and practicing. All you need is exposure, repetition, and practice. And it's much better to do even 10 minutes a day rather than try to just look at it once a week for a really long block of time. Thank you for your time. Keep studying.